Now, I don't work off this RPE bullshit. Powerlifting is about mentality. Powerlifting is about going to the gym when you don't feel good and doing it fucking anyway.
Hey V, line them up.
What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to episode number 2 of this powerlifting prep, and today I'm going to teach you how to build a perfect powerlifting plan. Now, this is obviously going to be going in stages, and we are just going to be going over how to start a powerlifting plan, but make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that post notification with the bell, because YouTube has been censoring this like non-stop, and next week we are going over my $20,000 biggest ever steroid cycle in hopes to break the all-time world record in February or March. Now, in this video, things are gonna get pretty fucking complicated. There's gonna be a lot of numbers, there's gonna be a lot of percentages. I know a lot of you are going to get very lost, so what I've done is I've typed up basically point notes of everything that I'm going over today in a PDF file. That PDF file is on www.noblesups.net saying start your powerlifting plan. All you have to do is add that to your cart, check it out. It is $0, and that will automatically send you the PDF of basically exactly what I'm talking about today. Now, powerlifting preps can get pretty complicated, and depending at your level, you will need a coach at some point. I would say if you were in the start of your journey, you don't really need a coach. There is so much free information out on the internet, and that I'm going to give you in these series that you can just follow exactly what I say. But for some of you more advanced lifters, hiring myself, hiring any good coach out there is almost going to be a necessity to get that second set of eyes and really take that journey to the next level. Now, before we get into how to perfectly start your powerlifting prep, I want to go over my last week of lifting. Now, this kind of goes hand in hand with what we're about to talk to, but I want to play some banging music and show you guys my best lifts of this last week because I'm super excited with it. I have been natural for 9 weeks. That is no testosterone, no orals, no anti-estrogens, only 2 IUs of growth hormone. And I wanted to test my 1 rep maxes for my squat, my bench, and my deadlift. Because it has been 4 years since I competed and 3 years since I've lifted heavy, I kind of wanted to see like where my body was at with not strength training for that long. Let's get into last week's training.
Weeks, baby. 9 weeks natty. 9 weeks natty, 475 clean.
see, last week was pretty insane. I feel like I'm 100% back. Now my back does still hurt a little bit, but with that said, I've learned to lift in a way that doesn't really put any strain on this herniated disc. I've learned my leverages, I've learned how to lift properly, and I'm super excited and I'm super stoked that I squatted 685, benched 475 with a pause, and deadlifted 675 being completely off everything without any strength training. That gives me really high hopes that we're going to be pulling, that we're going to be totaling way more than I did at 21 years old. My maxes currently in the gym are 805 pound squat, which I've done 3 times, a 520 pound bench press that was not paused, so about a 515 pound paused bench press, and a 760 deadlift. Now, personally, for more of an advanced lifter that has lifted those types of weights in the past, I do not want to push myself to try to lift those weights again. I already know that my body can do it, and I already know as I peak towards that top on the powerlifting plan that there's no doubt in my mind that I could not do it because I did it before. But for you guys that want to test those 1 rep maxes because you haven't done it before, because you are a new lifter, because you're just unsure or unconfident that you could do those 1 rep maxes again, this is how I strongly recommend you start your powerlifting prep. Now you should start by doing a 3 or 5 rep max for each lift. That's squat, bench, and deadlift. Those are your main lists. Those are the only lists that you should be focusing on. Now I'm going to take squat for an example just to make things very easy. Let's pretend you did a 3 rep max of squats and you did 500 pounds. Now where do you go from that? How do you figure out your 1 rep maxes, and how does that tie into starting the powerlifting plan? Well, let me tell you. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to go to a 1 rep max calculator, which I have linked in the PDF file that if you want an extra clarification, you can go download. That 1 rep max calculator, you can enter your 500 pounds for 3 reps, and that will give you an approximate 1 rep max. And if you're a more advanced lifter, I would just take your old 1 rep max and use that as the starting base. Now, you never want to start your program percentages off of your old 1 rep maxes because you are just going to be aiming for the same number. I see this mistake time and time again, that if your max is 500 pounds and then you start powerlifting programming and you're doing 65% for 10 sets of 10 with using 500 pounds for that 65%, you are actually just trying to peak to the same number. So what I suggest when you start your powerlifting plan, your 1 rep maxes, just to keep things easy, are 500, 300, and 500. I would do all your programming off of 530 or 540, 330, 340, and then 530, 540. You want to anticipate a 20 or 30 pound gain on each lift. And if you are a newer lifter, you may be able to get even 50 pounds out of that, but I would start lower and you'll understand why right now. Now, as you continue on this powerlifting, and I'll kind of show you the basics along this journey, is you start here. And if I were to really put this simple, you would take your 1 rep maxes and you would do 10 sets of 10 at 50%. And then you do 8 sets of 8 at 60. Then you do 6 sets of 6 at 70. Then you would do 5 sets of 5 at 75. Then you do 4 sets of 4 at 80. And then you do 3 sets of 3 at 85. And then you would do like 3 sets of 2 at like 90. And the point is, by the time you get to 2 weeks out of the competition or 2 weeks out of the meet or like 1 week out of the meet, you want to be doing 2 sets of 2 reps or 3 sets of 1 rep with that old 1 rep max, or even that projected new 1 rep max. So if your old 1 rep max was 500 pounds, and you're doing 95% of 540 pounds for 2 sets of 2, you know that your 1 rep max is about to blow that old 1 rep max way out of the water. So that is how you would strategically set up the start of your powerlifting plan. Now, I don't work off this RPE bullshit. Powerlifting is about mentality. Powerlifting is about going to the gym when you don't feel good and doing it fucking anyway. You guys going to the gym, you're supposed to do 8 sets of 3 at 75%. And then you go into, that was an RPE 8, so I need to lower the weight. Guess what, motherfucker? Powerlifting doesn't work like that. You have a progressive scheme up to prep your central nervous system, to prep your body, to prep everything you have into getting the highest total possible. If you are supposed to do 300 pounds for 5 sets of 8, and you have it, oh, it's an RP 9, I better lower the weight. And then you lower the weight, you completely fuck up your entire prep. It doesn't fucking work that way. So with that said, week we are basically gonna roughly go over what I'm currently doing for this progressive peak up. Now I'm doing it slightly more in a advanced way, but you can take that same method and apply it to yourself in a slightly basicer way, or you could just hire a coach. Like I said, there are several amazing powerlifting coaches out there. I have also coached several people that have competed at Worlds. I've competed several bodybuilders that wanted to do bodybuilding and powerlifting. And that is basically the main thing, is like bodybuilders used to powerlift. Ronnie Coleman, Dorian Yates, Branch Warren, Johnny Jackson, all these fucking freaks used to squat, bench, deadlift as heavy as possible, and then go into their accessories because they know that is how you grow the best base and get as big as humanly possible. And now we have all these pussies doing time under tension. I don't squat because my knees hurt. And that's why you look like fucking shit. And like I said, hit that subscribe button, hit the post noties with the bell, because next week we are going over an insane steroid cycle that I am honestly don't even know why I'm attempting to do this, but I really want to see the difference of previously I've only ran as much as necessary to get by into the show and do it as healthy as possible. This time I want to push the envelope and see how far I can really fucking take this. So with that said, I'm signing off. Have an amazing fucking Christmas, you filthy animals, and we are gonna crush this shit in the new year. Let's get it.